Berachos Daf Yud, the Gemara tells us a story that a mayor had really bad neighbors. So he davened that they should die. Beruria's famous wife told him that's not the way to do it. You're probably thinking, Yitamu chataim in aretz, you should get rid of all the chataim. Yes, get rid of the sins, but don't get rid of the sinners. What you should do is daven that they should do tshuva. In fact, he davened that they should do tshuva, and they were chayzer b'tshuva. A min once asked Beruria, how does the pasuk make sense in Navi? Rani akara shelo yilada. Because she didn't give birth, she came out in a song, and she said, Shaita. Look at the end of the pasuk. La'aseh lavi by the geula, there are going to be many more of Klal Yisrael in Yerushalayim than Edom. And in fact, the word akara is referring to that our children don't go into Gehenna like your children do. Rebbe Avo explained to Amin, why is it that David HaMelech put the parak of Avshalom, him and Avshalom, is the third parak in Tehillim, and the parak of him and Shaul is all the way at parak Nun Zayin. Shouldn't be the opposite. It's not in order of how it happened. So he told him, we believe in a concept called smuchim. When a pasuk is next to another pasuk, or a parak is next to another parak, we learn something from it. We learn from the parak Gog and Magog, which is parak Beis. If somebody might tell you, how is it possible that Gog is going to rebel against the Kodesh Baruch Hu? I'll tell you, look, my own son rebelled against his father. Shimon Bar Yochai explains the famous pasuk in Hezekiah. Piyah pasuk b'chachma v'sari as chesed al shayna. Shlomo HaMelech wrote it about his father David, that he had Ruach HaKodesh later on in life about 5 times that he was in different worlds. One of them was the world in his mother's womb. He said Shira, he said a Baruch Nafshi about it. When he came out and he gazed at the stars and the mazalis, he said another Baruch Nafshi. And when he nursed, he also said a Baruch Nafshi. Tu pshatim, either because humans are different than animals. You nurse from a clean place, or you nurse not in the makim erva. And he said Shira when he had the falling of the Rishayim, and when he spoke about the day of death. Rav Shimon ben Pazi says that it corresponds with HaKadosh Baruch Hu and the Neshama, the 5 times. HaKadosh Baruch Hu fills the whole world, the Neshama fills the whole body. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees it, but is not seen. The Neshama sees and is not seen. HaKadosh Baruch Hu feeds, mefarnes the whole world. The Neshama is mefarnes the whole body. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is pure, he's tar, so is the Neshama. HaKadosh Baruch Hu sits in the inner rooms, so does the Neshama. So therefore, the person that has the Neshama within him should come and praise HaKadosh Baruch Hu. Baruch Hi Nafshi, it says, V'chol krovai, my innards. HaKadosh Baruch Hu is not like a human being. If an artist paints a picture on the wall, he can infuse it with life and a neshama, whereas HaKadosh Baruch Hu, not only can he infuse it, but he can infuse something within something. A baby that's within its mother can infuse it with life. As Chana said, Ein tzur kelikenu, and we learn, Ein tzayer, there's no artist like our God. In other words, HaKadosh Baruch Hu could create humans, and nobody can do anything similar. Ke'ein biltecha, we learn, Ke'ein levaloischa. Ein levaloischa, meaning HaKadosh Baruch Hu outlives everything he creates, whereas an artist, usually his art outlives him. The Gemara tells us what happened in the story between Hezekiah and Yeshayahu, who were both tzaddikim. Hezekiah was the king, Yeshayahu was the Navi. They didn't want to visit each other. Each one held that they had more honor, the other one should come to them. So HaKadosh Baruch Hu made a compromise. He made Hezekiah really sick, and he told Yeshayahu, go visit Hezekiah. So he went to visit him, and he said, Ki meis ata, you're going to die, v'loi tichya, and you're not going to live, which is a double lashon. The Gemara explains, you're going to die in this world, and you're not going to have Olam Haba because you didn't do Pru Revu, you didn't get married. So Hezekiah said, because I saw in Ruach HaKodesh that I'm going to have descendants that are not worthy. So Yeshayahu told him the famous line, Bahadi kafshu de Rachmana Lamalach, why are you getting involved in the Rebbeinu Shloim's business? Let him do his thing, you do your thing. So he said, okay, so give me your daughter, and in our 2 schusim will be zaycha that I won't have bad descendants. So he told him it's too late. The Gzeira already happened. So Hezekiah got upset. He said, even if a sharp sword is on your neck, you should never stop davening. And the Gemara tells us that immediately Hezekiah took the musar, he got up and he went to the wall. What's the wall? The walls of his heart. He said within his heart. Or Levi says, he said something that has to do with a wall. He said, if Isha Shunamis, with a story with Elisha, that Elisha did Chis HaMesim to her son, in the schos, because she built him a wall, as the Gemara is going to discuss later. So my grandfather, Shlomo, he built the entire Beis Hamikdash. Shouldn't I deserve a schos? Hezekiah told her, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, I did everything. What did he do? Says the Gemara, an amazing thing. He was Soymech Geula L'Tfila. Levi says it means that he took the book of medicinal remedies, and he buried it. As the Gemara says, Hezekiah did 6 things. 3 things the Rabbanan Chachamim agreed with, and 3 not. He buried the book of Refuos. He broke the copper snake that Moshe Rabbeinu made to heal people. People started doing Avodah Zarah to it. And when his father, the Rasha Achaz, died, he dragged his body in the streets on a bed of rope to show people that this is what happens when you do Avodah Zarah. Those 3 things Chacham agreed to. But what they didn't agree to, that when he plugged up the water of Gichon in order to thirst, to create that the soldiers in Chayr shouldn't have water, they didn't agree to that. They said, let HaKadosh Baruch Hu deal with it. When Hezekiah gave the doors of Beis HaMikdash, the golden doors to Chayr, they didn't agree to that. And when he did Iber HaChodesh, he made an extra month of the year on the last day of Adar, they said that's not good because that last day could be Nisan, and because it could be Nisan, you don't do Iber HaShan on that day. If somebody uses other people's chusim when he dies, he says, HaKadosh Baruch Hu, answer me in the schus of my forefathers, like Moshe Rabbeinu did in schus Avram, he's answered in his own schusim. But Hezekiah used his own schusim. He said, answer me in my schus, asher salachti lefanecha, etc. So they used the schus of David. Now going back to the story of Isha Shunamis and Elisha, she said, let's make him a wall. So the machlokes, where did she put Elisha? Did she put him in an open achsadra, and she had to build a wall to divide the achsadra? And then, what does aliyah mean? Aliyah usually means in the attic. It means she put him in the best of her houses. Or the pshat is she put him in the attic, and she had to build a roof. So why is it called a kir, a wall? Because it's kiruhu, is a lashon of roofing. It says that she put a bed, a table, a chair, and a lamp. The Gemara says Elisha benefited from it. You're allowed to benefit from favors that people give to you. But Shmuel would refuse favors. He came with his own little suitcase. Wherever he went, he had all his belongings. Nobody could give him a favor. She knew more than her husband that Elisha was a Kaddish. How did she know? She noticed that flies wouldn't land on his table. Another pshat is she noticed that his sheets were clean. They didn't have any carry on them. Whereas his Misharis, Gehazi, didn't have Kedusha. He grabbed her inappropriately. Says the Gemara that if a person hosts the Talmud Chacham and gives from his own belongings to the Talmud Chacham, it's as if he was a makriv tamid. The Gemara says 3 halachas in tefillah. First one is that you shouldn't stand in a high place when you daven. Mimamakim korsicha Hashem. There should be no haughtiness when it comes to davening. You're supposed to put your feet together like we do during Shema Esrei, and you're not supposed to eat and drink before davening. If you do, it's as if you have gaiva and then you're trying to be mamlech Shem Shamayim. Shmuel says halachas like Rabbi Yeshua that Kriya Shema is said until 3 hours into the day. The Brisa says that if you say Kriya Shema after this man, it's as if you were Mekayim Talmud Torah, but you should say Birkas Kriya Shema 2 before and 1 after. Rav Chisda agrees to that. And in one lashon, Rav Chisda argues with that. Ramani says, somebody who says Kriya Shema in the right time has a bigger schos than learning Torah. Have a wonderful day.